Oh, hello again, you extraordinary subscribers. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hemingway Land YouTube channel. So, a couple weeks ago, the last video that we produced for the channel was, there was a property profile, and then there was an outro, and in the outro, I made some vague allusion to not going to be around for a few weeks, blah, blah, blah. And, one person caught it, one person asked about it, but I wanted to address this, which is that a couple weeks ago, I was working on stuff. I'm still working on the same stuff, but I was working on stuff. It was consuming a lot of my time. I hadn't been sleeping much, even less than I normally sleep, which is already, a pitiful amount on a daily basis. Anyway, I was sleeping about an hour a day, and I recorded what ended up being like a 6-minute, thing like this, a monologue about updates of what's going on in the business, and here's what's consuming all my time, and because of this, I'm not going to be around on the channel, and blah, blah, blah. And I recorded it. I sent it off to the video editor. Some time went by. I caught up on my sleep. And then he presented to me the final version of the video from that week. And I listened to it. And to say that it was incomprehensible would be charitable. I mean, it might as well have been in Chinese. There was no through line to what I was saying. There was no clear connection of the dots. There was a lot of like, why is he telling us this? And how does the first thought relate to the second thought? And like, why is he wasting his time? Anyway, so the point is, we decided to jettison that portion of the video, and I figured I would address it in the future. Well, today, people is the future. So, quick thing here, guys. Of the things discussed in the video from a few weeks ago that are still relevant, I am in the process of, we will call it, taking a class. I'm not really taking a class, but for conversational purposes, the thing that makes the most sense is to call it taking a class. I am taking a class right now, real estate related, which is consuming a great deal of my time and requires my concentration throughout the rest of the week because I'm working on something. I'm trying to learn something a little bit better. And thus, I will not be around on the channel much, probably not until January, something like that. We will be producing content for the channel. There'll be some videos coming up. But I will not be doing the weekly videos. Quite frankly, by the way, guys, I feel like I should start doing like channel update videos exclusively and then do property videos. I don't know, just because occasionally I feel like sharing with you guys what's going on here. Anyway, so that was topic number one. Topic number two, the thing still relevant from that video from a few weeks ago, is that we are currently working on a bulk acquisition. We were working on it then. We're still working on it. I believe, hoping that the bulk acquisition will hit the website right before Thanksgiving, but it's going to be about 50 properties up in Taos County in everybody's favorite subdivisions, Tres Piedras, Carson Estates, Ranchettes to Taos, subdivisions, guys, that you call and email us about all the time. When are you going to have more listings there? Well, we should have more listings there in a few weeks. Again, I'm hoping that'll hit by Thanksgiving, but these things always move at a pace that I am never comfortable with, so it's possible to show up after Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, look forward to that. Topic number three is that, for the first 6 years of this business, I made a point of doing videos like every Friday for 11 months out of the year, new properties, etc. The real estate market has been so slow this past year with, I guess, everybody anticipating the election. That's what the conventional wisdom attributes it to. With everybody anticipating the election, sales have been slow, so I've had to diversify a lot of what I'm doing, and been buying a lot of larger dollar properties. Been doing that now for about 3 years, but specifically larger dollar properties in East Coast states where we don't list properties on the website. And so while we have actually had inventory every week throughout the past, 48 weeks, not all of it has ended up on the website. There have been weeks where it's looked like we haven't had any new properties. Practically speaking, I am working on a system by which to streamline that and either get all those properties up on the website or figure out a way to just focus on the 6 states that we're consistently in and debut those new properties every Friday throughout the year. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. I haven't completely figured it out yet, but I'm working on it. But we are doing more large dollar acquisitions in other states. It doesn't, in my estimation, it doesn't make sense to have a Missouri page on the website if you're only going to have one listing in Missouri. It doesn't make sense to have a county map like this thing over here if you're only going to have 2 properties in the whole state or 3 properties or something like that. So I'm trying to come up with a way to, we'll say, handle that more elegantly. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. All right, guys. So with all that out of the way, Taos County bulk acquisition coming up in the weeks ahead. Look forward to that. With all that said, let's get to this week's new property. Here we go, guys. Take it away. All right, people. So we are back this week in Torrance County's Estancia Ranchettes subdivision, which occupies all the land you see here. This is a largely rural subdivision which straddles the I-40 to the north and south and is located just 10 minutes east of Moriarty and about 40 minutes east of Albuquerque. More on nearby towns and attractions in a moment. Now, we have sold a number of listings out here in the past and thus are very familiar with the region. And I will tell you guys, it's an interesting subdivision to me because unlike a lot of the subs that we sell properties in, there is a greater what we will call variance to what you will encounter out here than you will find in other subs. And what specifically do I mean by variance? Amenities and features. So, as an example, in the time that we have sold properties in this region, we have seen ones where the road access looks like this and ones where the road access looks like this. Additionally, we have had properties where residential power lines are close by and ones that are miles away. And even though most of the parcels out here don't have or are nowhere close to underground utilities, some actually do. And those utility boxes, in the few instances you'll find them, tend to look like this. And what differentiates this subdivision further from others that we buy and sell in is that there is no logic or pattern that I can find as to why one property might have some of these features and another will not. And this is all my way of saying, essentially, that the utilities and development are not concentrated into one region as we will normally see in other subdivisions. Usually you've got a highway, the development spreads out from there, with it the utilities are extended out further, and then because there's people living there, the roads are better maintained. That, however, is not really the case in Estancia Ranchettes, where the development has been a lot more, from what I have observed, random. The point is that while we have properties in the past with good road access and power and underground utilities, we have never had one that has had all three. That is, until today. Yes, people, this is a good one, found here on the New Mexico page under our Torrance County listings, 2 adjacent 1-acre lots totaling, hang on, let me do the math, 2 acres with power, underground telecom, partial fencing, and like all the properties in this sub, very, very relaxed zoning. Let's go to the map. So this one is located less than a mile south of the highway along this road right here and is accessed off these fine county-maintained roads. Now, it should be noted, guys, the property is located along a road the plat identifies as Rosita Drive, but the plat looks like it was written by Moses, so who knows if it's still called that. For the most part, it appears to be an unnamed road, and I can't find any other map that identifies it this way. Whatever the case, we'll go with Rosita Drive. Anyway, Rosita is a 2-track dirt road, but realistically speaking, it's so close to the county roads, you'll be able to access the land in any vehicle type. Now, as we can see from the property photos, we've got the aforementioned residential power lines going up and down Rosita. We've got the underground utilities, which are located just 1 lot east. And if we go to the drone photos here, we can see the exact footprint of the land, as well as exactly how kind of nice and secluded this region is. And it should be noted, guys, the neighboring property is fully fenced, which of course will give you some free fencing along your eastern border and helps to dictate your property boundaries, which may in turn help save you some money on a survey. Now, let's talk about this fenced property by way of a discussion on zoning. So, the headline on this page indicates that this area is RV friendly and has relaxed zoning. Why do we say that? Well, if you come down here to our property details section and click on the Zoning and Restrictions tab, you will learn that this property is zoned rural residential in a pre-platted lands district. And if you click on this PDF right here, you will learn all about that. Now, the long and the short of it goes like this. A pre-platted lands district is a subdivision that was created prior to formal county zoning regulations. And because some people developed these properties and started living there with certain expectations for how they could use their land, the county, once it actually started creating regulations in the early 70s, decided that they were not going to try to retroactively apply rules that these people didn't want to follow anyway. So, because of this, the county tends to have what we will call a don't ask, don't tell policy when it comes to land use in Estancia Ranchettes. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is not to suggest that there's no rules out here. There's state building codes, environmental regulations, rules about livestock, so on and so forth. But the point is, the county tends to ignore this region. Additionally, When you combine that with the fact that Estancia Ranchettes has no HOA and no covenants or restrictions, it really makes this area ideal for those people who want to conform to as few rules as possible. And that is one of the major reasons why this area is so popular with our buyers, particularly those who want land they can camp and RV on for longer periods of time. Now, that brings me back to the fenced neighboring property. So in this photo here, you will notice an RV. There's no house, there's no trailer, just an RV. Additionally, here's another property just down the street. Once again, no house, no structure, not even some kind of awning or overhang, just an RV. Point being, RV use is a lot easier out here in Estancia Ranchettes, and quite honestly, the presence of the fence on both of these properties suggests to me that that may be the only difference between temporary use versus long-term parking or storage. That's merely speculation, but if you call over to Torrance County zoning, there's a guy there named Steve. He's worked in the county since I think New Mexico joined the union, and usually he's a really helpful, really informative guy. He's got a lot of information like that, so if you do want clarification on that issue, Steve's your man. Now, it should be noted, guys, as I said earlier, this property is less than a mile from the highway and only about 10 minutes outside Moriarty and maybe about 15 outside of Edgewood. Point being, if you're going to develop the land and you're looking for your nearest Walmart, hardware store, grocery store, supply store, whatever, they're all a short drive east along the I-40. And, of course, the most happening town in the state, Albuquerque, is just another roughly 30 minutes down the road. So, people, if you would like to purchase this partially fenced, beautiful, private 2-acre lot with county-maintained road access, power, underground utilities, and zoning so lax it borders on indifferent, just come up here to the top of the page, click the Buy Now button, and make the payment of $39.50 plus a mere $150 doc prep fee, and we will get all the paperwork started and get the property conveyed into your name. Toot sweet. Hey guys, do you like clicking random buttons on the internet? I know I do. If so, try clicking this one. It's our subscribe button, and clicking it will allow you to be alerted to all the super informative and moderately amusing videos we upload to this channel, promoting all of our newest and best properties. So click it and stay in the know. With all that said, I will be back here sometime in the next few weeks, not sure when at this exact moment, but I will be back with that bulk acquisition we promised in Taos County. So if you don't hear from me before Thanksgiving, you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you back here in our next video.